My name is Larry and I'm the CEO and founder of Cherry Tree Agency, and today I'm joined by my client, Vincent Simone, the tennis doctor, and we're going to talk to you guys about the 5 best ways to grow your social media in 2024.
Thanks for having me, Larry. I'm very excited to share with you guys the valuable insights that I've gained, and anybody who sells personal services can really benefit from this. And I do believe that the way all of this is going and, people making money online is content creation. Now I'm going to share with you the 5 things that have had the most profound impact on my business. And you do not need a huge following. You do not need to spend any money at all. And if you do these things, I do really think that it could change your life. Now, the first thing and the major mistake that most people make is trying to market to everybody. You can offer your services to everyone, but then you're telling people that you don't specialize. So it's very important to focus on one thing. And for me, for example, in my niche, that was tennis technique for advanced tennis players. Not trying to market to beginners, intermediate, and advanced, right? Being too broad. I just focused on one type of content, which was showing people how to swing properly on the tennis court in order to win a match. Now, the second thing is, people, they start a business or they start an online service. They get very focused on charging and how much they're going to offer the service for, rather than actually how good the service is. So it's very important that you focus on your user experience. You can spend all the time making a fancy thumbnail, hiring a huge team, and trying to display everything nicely, but if somebody clicks on the video and it's not good, well, you've got a problem there. And this leads into the other point number 3. There is no algorithm, and if your content is not performing, there's something wrong with the content, right? I tell my tennis students this: fix the system and not the symptoms, right? The symptom of getting no views is the harsh reality that you need to face, that your content is not good. It may be too vague. It's not the hashtags. It's not that your market is oversaturated. If you've posted consistently, you need to switch something up if it's not working. Now, the fourth thing, which also ties into this last point, you will usually know pretty quickly if something is working or not. And if something is not working, it's time to change the strategy immediately. The time is never going to be right. And, if you're actually putting in the work, piling in the wood, and no fire is coming up, right? Followers, engagements, right? You may hear the term leads, which we're going to get to that in a second. It's time to switch up your strategy. Never marry your technique. I like to tell people that on the tennis court, and the same applies on social media, right? If you're not getting the results that you want, it's because you're not doing things in a certain way. Now, the last point, point number 5. Obviously, consistency and persistence goes without a doubt, right? And if you want, to make a big impact, you can't just post once a week. You need to post every day and on multiple platforms. And that's quite simple, right? If you're going to get into this game, you're going up against people who are treating this as their full-time job, like myself. So if you aren't putting out quality and quantity, well, you're going to have a really tough time getting momentum, especially at the beginning. Now, the last thing, this is just a bonus tip. What is a lead? You may hear this term a lot. You may see those quick ads in front of videos. We're going to get you new clients and leads. Now, here's the thing. You want to attract qualified buyers. Now, at the beginning of this video, I talked about not marketing to everyone. Now, what does this really mean? In your marketing, you need to laser focus on your customer avatar. Your customer avatar would be, for example, what age is the people who are buying your products? What is their gender? What is their profession? And if you don't have this mapped out yet, it's very important that you start with this first, because it's going to be very confusing for you in your marketing if you're trying to reach everybody. All right? A jack of all trades is seldom a master of any. I think that's how that saying goes. But anyways, you get the point. So do not focus on leads, giving away free stuff, collecting people's emails. Those things are well enough, but they don't always translate to money, and it may be better to just go direct. At the end of the video, never be afraid to tell people to take action. Make it clear, concise. Buy now, go here, message me here. Be transparent, okay? Number one, never lie. People know, and if you're selling things to people, they're most likely not, dumb teenagers. They're educated, sophisticated buyers, professional buyers, and people who cannot be talked to like simpletons. Tell people what you have to offer, get it across quickly, don't waste any time. Everyone is time poor, and to show them how to take action. And, if they're educated and sophisticated, they will know what to do from there. You don't need to worry about overselling yourself. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. Don't lie about what you have. Be truthful, be authentic, and people will respect that, and they will reciprocate it if what you're giving them is valuable.
Thank you, Vincent. I really appreciate that insight. A lot of great tips from Vincent here. Now, if you don't mind, I think I'm just going to spin back to tip number 3. You mentioned earlier that at a certain point, when you're feeding that fire and you're not seeing any fire come up, it's time to change and pivot with your content. What do you think is a good number of posts for you to be able to tell whether a certain piece of content is working for you or not working for you? And how do you know when to cut that line of, this content is no longer working, this content's not performing, versus I just hadn't given it enough time yet? So what are your thoughts on that?
So if you're just starting your account, you need to let things run for a while. So I would experiment with many different things, and you will know within 2 weeks or not. If it takes more than 2 weeks for an account to blow up, it's time to run away. Very, very quickly. It's time to get out of that immediately.
And now, is that 2 weeks of you posting one type of content every single day? Or is that 2 weeks of, varied content? How would you map that out?
Two weeks of posting twice a day. At least one long form and one short form. That would apply for YouTube. And then if it's the other platforms, which are just on the cell phone, that would be twice a day. And you will very quickly know if you have an idea that's going to work or not, right? Of course, right, you could stick it out longer than that. Just the chances of success are very low. You will generally know, like I said, immediately if something is working or not. Now, let's say you already have a following. The 2 weeks goes down to 48 hours. I've tested this hundreds of times, and if a video doesn't blow up in 1 day or 2 days after posting it, it almost will never get traction after that. There's a very short window, and the feedback is usually immediate, especially if you have a couple thousand followers. Just because you're not seeing the likes and clicks doesn't mean that people aren't there. They're watching, they see it, and if it's not producing the results that you want, it's because people swiped away immediately. And it could be, for example, you're putting too much music in the video, or you start off the video with a vague, unclear, possibly untrue statement talking about yourself instead of them. It's better to speak slow. It's better to keep it simple, even with more simple words, instead of trying to make yourself seem over sophisticated. Just keep it brief and slowly start to replace things in your vocabulary. And this is also something that can really help you out, I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for these tips, Vincent. I really appreciate this great insight. And these are a lot of great ideas and a lot of great things that you can implement in your content when you're trying to grow your social media. If you guys are not aware, Vincent here has grown or managed to grow his YouTube presence from 0 to over 25,000 subscribers in just under a year, and his social media presence on Instagram is not too far off. So obviously, with a growth like that, he knows what he's saying and he's tried every method. So obviously there is some truth to Vincent's advice here. So thank you so much, Vincent. I really appreciate that. And it's been a pleasure working with you together and helping you film content. It's been a pleasure just hearing your insights on what works and what doesn't work. If you guys are looking for any social media marketing, or if you guys are looking for any videography services in Toronto, in the Greater Toronto area, please do reach out to us at cherrytreeagency.com, and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible.